Hello, students. Welcome to this new session of Python. Today, we are going to study something really interesting. Uh, in the last session, we had discussed about few practical things. Today, again, we are going to look at some of the practical details. Last time, we had discussed about how to do mail merge using Python. In this session, we are going to study web scraping using Python. But for that, what we need to do is we need to have little bit of idea about XML. I think most of you have had an introduction about XML in the previous semesters. Though what is required as far as our session is concerned today, we are going to take an introduction of the XML part today. XML, like JSON again we have had a brief introduction about JSON, is used for transporting data. Now let us quickly go through some of the points regarding XML. The full form of XML is Extensible Markup Language. Yes, it's a markup language. Very important. It is designed to store and transport data. Store in the sense not in the database, but in its temporary structure. Yes, it is not a replacement for HTML. HTML mainly is used for showing something on a static web page, whereas XML is used for a different purpose stated above. XML is designed to be self-descriptive in the sense XML tags are not predefined like you have in HTML or CSS or JavaScript. You can have your own self-descriptive tags. We'll try to check one file and we'll have a look at it. Yes, it is used to carry data, not to display data. That means once you create an HTML file and try to open in a browser, the code that you have written, the output will be displayed. It is not the same with XML. That is one important thing which you need to understand. Yes, it's a platform independent and language independent. Uh, Very important, irrespective of whatever the server is, irrespective of whatever the client is, you are just going to ensure that you are able to transport the data from source to destination. Now, let us look at an XML file and also try to understand why little bit of XML knowledge is required in web scraping. Let me open the XML file that I have already created. This is the state.xml file that I have created, a simple file. Yes, this is a compulsory. This is the syntax, that is, you are giving it as XML version 1. Again, we are not going to go into the details. Within the country, we have two states, multiple states, but we are taking two states over here. So we have a country tag, we have a state tag. Within state tag, we have name tag, capital tag, and this gets repeated one more time. Now, within this XML version 1, if you want to have student data, you can have student tag. Within that, again, name, first name, middle name, last name, again, address, and so on. In the sense, you can have tags with your own predefined, not the predefined tags like head, body, and so on. You can have the tag names to be whatever you want. So that's just a brief. Now, when you save this file, remember what you are doing is you are giving file save as not text document, all files, and you are saving it as, just try to observe over here. You are saving it as XML document. Okay. So now, just let us have a brief about what is web scraping, and then we try to go into the practical part. Again, if required, we will come back to the theory part. Now, what is web scraping? Yes, web scraping is something really interesting. You find lot of data on lot of websites. Some of the data is static, some of the data is stored in the database. Now, web scraping means you are extracting data from a website. Say, for example, any news website is there, you can extract the news that you have on that website. How? That is what we are going to learn today, and we are going to learn it making use of Python. Now, the information is collected and exported into the format that is more useful for the user. That means once we scrape the data or extract the data, it can be converted to XML form, it can be converted to JSON, it can be converted to Python dictionary. Whatever you want, you can do it. Now, one big difference you should know, and you should know very clearly, web scraping is not hacking. I repeat, web scraping is not hacking. Let me brief you about this very clearly. Now, web scraping is extraction of data, and generally the websites in their privacy settings or privacy notes or legal information, they tell whether you can extract the static data that is available on the website or not. That means they give you an indirect permission to extract some data. So that is what web scraping is. Now let us try to have a brief about what is hacking. Hacking means without the prior permission of the user, you are fetching some data by breaking the security, by breaking the password. You are fetching some data from the database. That is what is hacking. Let me give you one example. Most of you are familiar to using mobiles and you keep on installing the app. Now, say for example, the WhatsApp is there. When you install it first, it will ask for several permissions. One of them is making use of your contact list. So, what actually WhatsApp is doing or WhatsApp app is doing, it is going to interact with some another app with your permission. That means it is going to extract data from some other app with your permission. That is what is scraping. And when you do it from a website, it is referred to as web scraping. But when you install some apps, uh, you most of you are aware that certain apps have been banned. Why they have been banned? Because apart from the permissions that they take to access the details from your mobile, without your consent, without your permission, they try to steal data from your mobile. So that is what is hacking. In the sense, you get some data from the website without the prior permission, and some data which you are not supposed to fetch from the website. That is hacking. Yes, Python is widely used to scrape data from the web, and today our study is going to focus on it. Yes, what we are going to do, we are going to scrape data from two news websites, in the sense the news are publicly available. Uh, the websites give permission to scrape the news content, so that is what we are going to do. Ideally, I take these sessions live in the lab In the sense, I do something, I ask you to do certain things, carry out certain tasks, and that session is really interesting and you enjoy. But unfortunately, we are not able to have live sessions. So we cannot have live session in the lab where net is also available and you are actually enjoying how you can scrap or extract the data from the web. But anyways, so yes, Python supports both document object, that is tree structured, as well as event based simple API for XML. Now, what is this DOM? A document object or a tree structure? The code that we have seen, the XML code that we have seen, we have the country tag. Within the country tag, we have the state. Within the state, we have the name as well as capital. Name as well as capital tag are at the same level. So, this is a tree structure or a document object model, and that is what we are going to study. The other is the simple API for XML, which we are not going to study because there are certain limitations. It is almost like continuously going in forward direction only. We cannot pause, we cannot go back and try to get something or something like that. SEX SAX is a streaming interface, hence we cover DOM, we do not cover SAX. Now, why little bit of knowledge of XML is important? Because you are going to fetch some data from the website. Now, for that, say for example, this is the code of the website. You need to have certain knowledge about the code of the website as well as in which hierarchy you want to fetch the data or what level of data you want to extract. So now let us try and move on to some practicals and try to check how to uh, first parse this XML file. If you know how to parse the XML file, you will be able to then go to the next step, that is scraping the data. So let us try to check up. Let me open the Python IDLE. I have already created some program for all of you so that we don't waste the time in typing the program. Yes, here it is, parse. Parse means what? Parse means you are going through the contents of the file line by line. It is similar to reading the contents from a text file or reading the contents from a CSV file. You start reading the file from the top to the bottom. Now what we are writing? Import xml.e3.elementary as et. That means what you will have to do before executing this code, you will have to go to command prompt using the administrator pip install xml. This is what you need to do first. Once xml is installed, then once XML is installed, then you will be able to execute this code. Before that, you will not be able to execute this code. So now I think most of you are aware that if you come across some new module, some new library, Python library, then you need to install it first at the CMD and then you can start doing any of the practicals. Fine. XML is the module. Submodule, and you can think of as a method or again a submodule. Now what we are doing, if you recollect how we were reading the contents of a text file, f is equal to open. and then we pass the file name and the mode, read mode, write mode, etc. So here also tree is like a file handler or a pointer. Parse is a method. Which file we want to parse. The file path is given over here, /python/ state dot xml. So this is the file that we want to parse, means read from the starting to the ending. So this becomes like a file handler or a file pointer. Now what we do is we go to the next step. Because why we go to the next step, we start from over here. Now what we want to do, we want to access the tags one by one, the way in which we can access the tags. So that is why we go to the next step. So root equals tree dot get root. So tree is the entire control to the entire XML file, and dot get root is meaning to get the root tag. Okay, so let us try to check out what we are printing. Root dot tag and root dot attribute. Tag is an attribute, attribute is an attribute. Let us try to check the first two output, and then I will explain to you certain things. So let us try to run this program. We check the next output later on. Root dot tag is country. Why root dot tag is country? Because the main uh, tag over here, the first tag, the starting tag in the hierarchy is country. Remember when I was explaining to you what we studied, one of the points, Python supports both DOM tree structured model as well as a simple API for XML, SAX. Uh, but here, which one we are studying? We are studying the document object model, that is the tree structured. Okay, so we get back to this. First, again, let me get back to the code that we are doing. Tree is a file handler or a pointer to the entire file. Root is tree dot get root. That means get root will get the main parent tag, the topmost tag in the hierarchy. So that is what is being printed. If you try to observe, sorry, yes, root dot tag is equal to country, root dot attrib is equal to empty brackets, and if you try to observe, they are curly brackets. That means it is a dictionary. Now why it is giving empty? Let me make some change to this. Say for example, country is the root tag. So if I change code equals in, now this becomes the root tag and this becomes the attrib. That is what code or any text that I have written along with it. So I save the file, and now I go to Python and once again execute this program, because once again I have to start reading the XML file and get the output. So let me check it up. Some error in the XML file. Okay, so we were caught up with some error, but just try to check it once again. We try to check where the error is. Let me execute this and let me explain to you where the error is. In fact, I should have saved the file save, and now let me re-execute the code. Run module. See, we get an error, XML tree elementary parse error, mismatched tag. That means when we made some change to the XML file, some other change was done. When I tried to write over here code is equal to in, what is done is by mistake the ending tag for state has been removed. So let me put the ending tag for state just like HTML. Here also we have starting and ending tag. Once I put this and let me save this, uh, the code that we have written should not have any problem. Yes, let me run this, and there you go. So we were trying to check the first two lines of output, root.tag, that is the country tag. Let me go back to the code. Country is the first tag. First we were not getting anything in attrib because this was not there. Now once we write code is equal to in, then remember this is the output in the dictionary form. So if we are adding some attributes to the tag, that can be displayed by root dot attrib. Just let me remove this once again. Let me save and let me try to execute it once again. Okay, let us try to check. Here you can see root dot attrib is empty. Why it is empty? Because we do not have attribute with the country tag. Fine. Let us try to go ahead and try to understand this code further. Uh, yes, we have understood the first two things. What is tree? It's a file handler or a pointer to the entire XML file. Root is a pointer towards the first tag in the documentary or in the hierarchy. Now, root 00, what does it give? And root 01, what does it give? Uh, it's interesting that root is basically when we give tree.generator, the results are stored in the form of a list. Also, let us try to understand what is dot text and what is dot text. In fact, here I will change it to 0, and here also I will change it to 0. Here also I will change it to 0, and here also 0. So let me execute this. Let us try to check the output of the next few lines. Well, root 00 is element name at a location. Root 01 is element capital at 0 location. In the sense, what we are trying to do, this is the root tag. Now, when we give 00 and 01, that means what output it is showing. Sorry, let me check over here. Yes, element name, element capital. But when we give root 00, sorry again, yes, root 00 dot text, then it gives Gujarat. Root 01 dot text, then it gives Gandhinagar. That is name and capital, the state name as well as the capital name. So let me change something in the code over here. Let me make it 1, and let me make it 1. This is just for the display. This is what actually the difference is going to be made 1. Okay, now let me run this, and if you try to observe, now we are getting root 10 is Maharashtra and root 11 is Mumbai. Let us try to understand how the parsing works. See, this is the root node, this is root 00, this is root 01, this is root 10, this is root 11. and that is why in 0 sorry in 10 and 11 we have Maharashtra and Mumbai. So that is why if you try to check this two output 10 and 11, you have Maharashtra and Mumbai. So basically root fetches what? Root fetches this entire content. Okay, and then you can access the subsections of the root. Let us try to go further and try to understand the code. Now we can have a loop for child in root, child.tag and child.attrib. That means uh, root is pointing to country. Now let me keep the code also side by side. Root is pointing to the country. Child.root, that means it should be this one. Let us try to check, execute and check the output. Yes, what it gives is state code is equal to gj, state code is equal to mh. Why it gives like this? Let us try to go through the code. For child in root, child.tag and child.attrib. So again let me go through the code. This is the child.tag and this is the child.attrib. Remember, this is in the form of a dictionary. Last time also when we went for the country, right now we don't have anything. Why? Because we have removed. If I make changes to the XML code, say for example over here, code equals in, and let me save it. Then for the country where we were getting empty dictionary, here we are getting empty dictionary. Now we should get some output. So let us try to check it out. Let me run it once again. Just try to observe. Yes, root.attrib is this. Now here we are getting child.tag and child.attrib. That means the child.tag for the country tag. This is the main tag which is root and its child is state. So the child.tag is state and the child.attrib is this. Why we are understanding this? Because we want to scrape the data from the website. Now, when we want to scrape the data from the website, we should have a clear understanding of the underlying code and how to get data from the underlying code. We should have a clear understanding of both of this, and that is why we are trying to do this. Okay, fine. So, now let us try to go further as far as understanding the code is concerned. I have put something in comment over here. ITR method is used to iterate recursively all its subtrees. That means the root node, then the child node, and then the subtrees. Uh, First, I have put for n in root.iter print n.text. So we are taking a variable to iterate through root.iter. That means basically all the child nodes of root. Root is country. So let us try to run it once again. Now this is what we are getting: Gujarat and Gandhinagar, Maharashtra and Mumbai. In the sense, what it is doing, this is definitely the root node. It is iterating through all its child nodes you can think of, or as I have written over here, iterate recursively through all its subtrees. That means the root and then we have the subtree. Now if I make some change over here, this will give you a better understanding. Let me make some change over here. For n in root.iter, we have name over here. So here we were not specifying the name of the tag. Here we are clearly specifying the name of the tag. Now let us run and try to check what is the difference as far as the output is concerned. Just try to observe what was happening. The state name as well as the capital name was coming up. Now when we are specifically giving name, that means whatever is there in the name tag, the name of the state Gujarat and Maharashtra. Let us try to check the code of XML. Here you have Gujarat, here you have Maharashtra. So within the root tag, wherever you have a tag with name and name, it is going to display the data. That means we are iterating through the root node or the root of the tree, and within the root of the tree we are finding the name tag over here and over here, and for the tag we are printing the text. So the text is this. Okay, the text is this. Now again I can give over here something, then that becomes the attribute. Again let us go further to the code. One or two things are pending. So we have studied the ITER method. Previously we had studied two attributes. Previously we had studied the method getRoot. Now the last method, that is find all. Find all method is used to find only elements with the tag which direct children of direct children of current element. Now what we are doing, root dot find all state, and the variable name is C. Now what we are giving, C dot find capital dot text. That means definitely we want text. For what we want capital. But what does C do? For C in root dot find all state. So let me execute this run module. Now as you can see, Gandhinagar and Mumbai. Why Gandhinagar and Mumbai? Because I am giving capital over here. Say for example, if I am giving name, see there are several different ways to do the same thing. So this is again one way of executing the subtrees or fetching contents from the subtrees. This is another way of fetching data from the subtrees. Now I have given over here name. That means the tag is name, not capital. And let me try to execute. Okay. Now previously we were getting the capital. Now we are getting the name of the state. That is within the state tag. Again we have to see the things within the state tag. We are finding all. We are making use of find all. Used to find all elements with the tag which has direct children of the current element. That means direct children of state is name and capital. So you can use find all, you can use ITER, you can do number of different things. Yes, but definitely you have to use the attribute text in order to fetch whatever the contents are there as far as the tag is concerned. Okay, so just let us try to go through the things once again. Yes, what you need to do, as I told you previously, if you want to make use of the XML module or XML library, you need to give pip install XML where at cmd, but ensure that you are opening cmd as an administrator. So what our objective is, we have created one XML file, and we are trying to study how to parse this XML file. Which methods are there, which attributes are there through which we can parse the XML file. Now, why we want to study how to parse? Because the code of the website will be something like this. So, we want to study which methods, which attributes are required to parse and how to parse the code. Once we know that, we can extract data from any of the website or we can do web scraping. So we have written a simple XML. You can write this XML about the college, about the student, what we have done in OOP, and then you will get a similar output. So yes, we are going to use the elementary method or the elementary sub module. Now first, tree is equal to et.parse, and you are giving the entire file name, so this becomes like a file handler. This is a pointer to the main tree or the root node, whatever you called it, and root.tag will give you the output as country. Root.attrib, if anything is there, say for example here the attribute is there for the country code, then it will give the output, otherwise it will give empty dictionary. Attrib returns the output in the form of dictionary. Root fetches each and every subtree, so you can access it using the indexing technique of the list. Yes, the data in the root is stored as a list. That is why you can use the indexing technique and you can try to get the data. Text definitely is the content within the tag, and you can have for loops for child in root. Here the root node is the country, so basically the child.tag will be state, and whatever the state code is there, if attribute is there, iter can be used to go through or find a particular tag within the root. If you want to find a particular tag within the root, this is one method, this is another method. That means either using the iter method or using the find all. But based on the method that you use, the way in which you print the data may change little bit. That is, here you might have to use the find method once again. So I hope you have understood this, and what I request is, you need to write this program, you need to execute this program. Only if you execute this program you will be able to understand. So we end this session over here, but with the understanding that you will try and parse the XML file. Remember, I have shown you the XML file also over here. Yes, in the next session we'll learn how to extract the contents from a live website. That means website which is showing the news currently. Okay, so we stop over here, but next session is definitely going to be much more interesting. So we'll be back with the next session. Thank you.